What's up, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to my village, all of you PE ninjas, where you can come get your latest Nintendo Switch and gaming news. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one here. We've got quite a number of topics since the Nintendo Switch has launched. So Super Bomberman R is suffering from controller lag when being played online, and it also seems like there's a little bit of delay, somewhat, I guess, even playing offline. Now, Konami is aware of these issues, and this is what they had to say on their official Twitter account. Quote, "Alert! There is an operation delay for Super Bomberman R in the online battle mode and controllers. We are now investigating." So Konami is aware of the issue. They do seem like they're going to be working on it. And yes, I can confirm 100% that there is some online delay and lag kind of when you're playing Super Bomberman R. I was playing with all of you dudes yesterday on PE Game Night or PE Live, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there was definitely some lag. I think that's like the first thing I said was like, man, kind of laggy on the online controls. I just think that the game, one being only 30 frames per second, and then you combine that with any type of input delay, definitely causes issues. The game is still super fun. If you haven't seen our PE live segment, please check it out. It's on the channel here, archived. You can just go to the videos and you will see it. It's a ton of fun. I mean, people were still playing and everything like that, but yeah, there was definitely some issues, and I'm pretty sure that it caused a lot of deaths from people, just that online delay and that lag. So yeah, hopefully they can get that wrapped up and, fixed. And that's something that kind of happens, especially with launch games and things. There are some issues here and there. Definitely don't want to make excuses for Konami. They definitely should have had a tighter version of Bomberman up and going, but this is on a pretty much a different engine than they've ever used, and it's just one of those things to where I kind of expected somewhat, like, okay, yeah, there's some online issues here and there. This is a complete reboot for Nintendo, so I understand with Konami. Definitely don't want to see that, and I'm not happy. They definitely need to make sure that they get that fixed though, because it is a $50 game. So if people did spend $50 on it, they should definitely make sure that it came out a little bit more prepared, in my opinion. But just as long as they fix it and they get it taken care of, I'm okay with that. Hopefully it comes within the next week, because I do think that Bomberman's online modes are actually really good. You have league battles, you have team battles, you have the creative rooms. I just wish there's a couple more options as far as delaying the time it takes before the match starts so more people can get in. But overall, I think the options on there, the custom modes and all that, are pretty cool. I would like to see them add more though. But overall, I thought Bomberman was pretty cool. Playing the game single player and then also the multiplayer. Hopefully the local multiplayer, I can test that out at some time. So yeah, they're going to get that fixed up, and Bomberman will even be better than it currently is. Alright, moving on to the next article here. So there is a rumor going around, or just people kind of just saying, I guess, that the Nintendo Switch dock can cause screen scratches. Now, the scratches aren't coming from the actual, like, on the viewing point of the screen, so not to where it would actually be like on the gameplay, but on the side, like down near the bottom left-hand corner, it seems. Where the scratches could be taking place. So basically what they're saying here is that you might want to be a little careful, because there is a designated spot to where it needs to fit in. Now, if you're scratching it, based on me just looking, I don't know, just like, I don't know, because I haven't scratched mine at all, because I put mine in normally. I look and I say, okay, this is where you put it in, so it's not going to scratch. But it does seem like people are just kind of carelessly throwing it in there, and it's scratching the screen. That's what it seems like to me, because the areas of where I see the scratches and how kind of like deep, at least according to what this picture is showing. Now, they are kind of light surface scratches. They aren't anything that's going to interfere with your gameplay. As you can see in this image, it's pretty much all to the farthest to the left of that area, right before the plastic starts. So it does seem like this person, or whoever is doing this, definitely just kind of just throws it in their dock somewhat kind of carelessly. But yeah, you just gotta be a little careful, or you can just get a screen protector. Those are the things, but I would probably just opt on the side of just being a little careful when you put your Nintendo Switch in, and you shouldn't have any problems with it scratching at all. So that's just my take on the whole matter. But just, yeah, use two hands. RMC, I have the article up here. He's saying just make sure you use two hands, put it in there slowly. Do not just don't just jam it down inside there, or don't just slide it carelessly. I think that's what some people are doing here in order to get these scratches on here. But that's just my take on it. Could be wrong on that, but let me know what you guys think. And please, guys, be careful with your Nintendo Switches when you put that in the dock. You shouldn't be throwing it in there. There's definitely a little bit of wiggle room once you put it in there, so it's not like it's like such like a tight fit to where it's going to really scratch it every single time. You just have to be a little careful when you put it into the dock, which you should anyway. You should not just be throwing it into there. You should just be carefully putting it in with 2 hands and not just sliding it in there so quickly and to the point to where it could scratch the screen. And have any of you guys had any issues with this at all? I would love to hear your thoughts. And on a side note, some people have been asking me about the whole Joy-Con issues, or have you had any issues with the Joy-Cons or anything? And I am happy to report that I haven't had any issues with the Joy-Cons. I talked about this on my live stream the other day. I've had no issues at all, but just to be honest, guys, my game room dimensions are a little bit more wide than it is like super long, so the dimensions of my room just don't have it to where I can, you know, sit 20 feet back and test out a Joy-Con, cover up my hand and all this stuff to test to see if it works. So in my game room, which is a normal moderately sized room, you know, it worked just fine. And I went all the way back to the back. I moved it around. I did the testing thing like GameXplain did, and everything worked fine. Nintendo has put up a support page, and it was so funny. One of the things that they said to do was don't have it near an aquarium. So if you got any of you dudes out there that live near aquariums or in aquariums, do not play your Nintendo Switch at an aquarium, because it might, the left Joy-Con might not work. But all joking aside, they did put up a support page as well talking about this as far as what you can do to help with the issue if you're experiencing it. But it does seem to me like it's caused by some type of weird interference, or people just sitting super far back from it, or people just basically blocking the obstruction, putting it like underneath, like let's say entertainment centers, like putting it inside the cabinets and blocking things up. I mean, it still should work even with all that, but I don't know, maybe the advanced tech that is inside the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, maybe it has something to do with the actual capture button that's on there and all that. So because there is slightly different tech, I guess, between one and the other. Yeah, one of them has the amiibo functionality, then the other one has like the capture button and all that, and the home button. So maybe it has something to do with that type of tech built into it. But are any of you guys having any issues sitting at a normal pace or like normal distance from the TV and having to switch out to where it's in, you know, pretty good sight? Let me know if you guys are having some issues with that. All right, and moving on to the last topic here, we're going to talk about the trolls absolutely bombing the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Metacritic score because they're salty. They're just like Salt Bay. It's the Salt Bay meme, but it's with Link. It's the Salt Bay meme, but it's with Link. They are mad. They are angry that this game, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is better than everything on their systems that have been out for 3 going on 4 years at this point. They're upset and they're angry because they thought that Horizon Zero Dawn was going to be, oh my gosh, the greatest game ever. Is going to get all the greatest scores, and it was getting great scores, but then some of the, you know, lower scores came in, but the Legend of Zelda came out and it's on such inferior hardware, and it just smacked every single game that's been out for the past, you know, 3 to 4 years. Nintendo's included, like as far as their home console games, not their portable games. So that's the thing, guys, and I want to talk about this because these people, they can read some of these amazing reviews. I mean, look at this review from FD89343. I don't know if you got a kid to put that. I think somebody just swiped across their freaking keyboard and came up with that username. So this was March 3rd, of course. And get this trash hole looking game out of his misery. Get this trash hole looking game out of his misery. Get this trash hole looking game out of his misery. Get this trash hole looking game out of his misery. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look at how helpful that review is. And then look at this one here. Excuse my language, because there's going to be some pretty bad language here, guys. Retarded cancer game, PS4 is better. 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 That was from JFD894. And how about this classic review from D344343? This game is trash. LMAO. It looks like a PS2 game. Even Ride to Hell is better than this piece of retarded garbage, trash hole looking ass game. Don't buy it. It seems like all these people are related. I don't know. Look, they all kind of talk just as retarded, if you're going to go ahead and use that word in there. Look at this review from DJE343. Holy moly, I did not know how much critic are sucking Zelda. You know what? These days, this game is laughable, bad, and did he censor himself? Beep, retarded hoe game. This game is so far for beep. So yeah. this is the type of reviews that we're getting, and there's even more gems in there that I can read off. Maybe in my live stream when I do my unboxing for my Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Cool, awesome, nice special edition. I will talk about this and we'll go over it more. I definitely want to talk to you guys about this more. But yeah, these are the type of reviews that we're getting, and it's pretty much the reason why it's getting these type of reviews is because, like I said, you got necessarily an inferior piece of hardware. Essentially, you've got a device. You know what I'm saying? That's literally, it's literally a handheld. It's pretty much a handheld device, and you wouldn't think in this day and age that this device would be able to produce games from a gameplay standpoint that can just smack all these technological super power PCs, PS4 Pros, and all of that stuff. But that's the thing, it does. Because when it comes to Nintendo and when it comes to playing games, that's what it's about. It's about playing games, and it's about playing games in the best way that you can. And the Nintendo Switch offers multiple ways to play games. It offers multiple ways to play games, and to me, it's very innovative when you have the stuff like the Joy-Cons, and you can hand this to a friend and play it. You can stand this up in tabletop mode and play it. So you can put it in tabletop mode and play it. It's a very innovative and nice piece of kit. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild necessarily wasn't designed for the Nintendo Switch, but what it was designed for was for gameplay first. That's why you're seeing all of these review scores, because it takes games. It said they're going to take games to the next level. We're going to take ideas and concepts. You saw stuff that you've seen in other games, and this is somewhat turning into a little bit of a semi-review, but you've seen stuff in other games. Like, for example, the verticality of Uncharted, right? But the problem with Uncharted is that there's only verticality when the developers want you to have it. And the verticality is very scripted verticality. It's like, or very scripted jumping. It's like, okay, well, here's the jumping part. Here's the climbing part. Here's this. Okay, here's the shooting part. Here's that. Whereas with The Legend of Zelda, it's like, okay, well, when you climb, there's a purpose. There's something up there that you need to get. It's completely unscripted. You can get up there and get it if you want to. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe it's a secret. Maybe, and there's the stamina bar too. It's not like, you know, Drake, he doesn't have a stamina bar. You can just pretty much go all day. Whereas Link, there's strategy built into it. Are you going to upgrade your stamina? Are you not? Are you going to eat something to upgrade your stamina so you can be able to climb more? So there's just more strategy built into it as far as the verticality goes, and you're scaling huger and bigger mountains and bigger areas. So it's just, okay, well, you have that cool aspect of it, but then you also have the aspect of, like, let's say, hunting, of like a Skyrim or any other open world game. But with The Legend of Zelda, there's so much more to the hunting as far as what you can do and the strategy behind it in a huge open world. And that's the thing, this world is just as big, actually bigger than pretty much all of the other games out there as far as the open world goes, yet there's tons of stuff to see, there's tons of stuff to do, and the mechanics of how you play, how you fight, have never been tighter, have never controlled better. And that's the difference between this game and a lot of other games out there on the market, which have ideas, which do certain things, but when you combine the verticality of Uncharted, the freedom of a Skyrim, the combat, and some of the other things from other action games or just Zelda games in general, you get something special. Plus, you have some of the staples that made, like, for example, Wind Waker. Like, that made Wind Waker awesome, like with the leaf. You get the little paraglider. So you're adding in all the elements that kind of made Zelda cool. You're changing the conventions, okay? You're not having it to where it's just pretty much the dungeons and you're going through and there's so many big puzzles. You're having shrines. You're making more of a side quest, RPG elements with different weapons that you can collect. It just creates something that's pretty much better than anything else that's out there on the market at this point when it comes to open world action RPG games. So for me, that's the reason why it's getting the scores that it's getting. And I'll have a more in-depth preview and all that. But the salt from these guys is just hilarious. They're mad and they're salty that a game is doing well. And a launch game is better than pretty much everything else that's out on the market at this point, which is funny and which is sad at the same time. And it also kind of proves another point, because Metacritic and Game Rankings actually has it as #1. So it's the best rated game of all time on Game Rankings. And it's funny because it's the highest score since 2008. And a lot of people have been saying that industry, as far as innovation, kind of dropped off in that 7th gen. And I've been saying that too. I'm like, well, the 8th gen hasn't really brought any super innovative or really different games outside of a couple to me, which is like Bayonetta 2 would be one of the most innovative, but it just really built upon the action genre and took it to the next level. There's some innovations here and there, not quite as innovative as the first game in the action genre as far as Bayonetta 1, but still, built upon that. There's some other games out there that have done some stuff, but it's the highest rated game since Grand Theft Auto 4 because there's just been a lot of me too, copycat. Okay, well, we're just going to do this a little bit better or this much better. There hasn't really been a lot of new and innovation, and that's why Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been the highest rated game since 2008. It's been that long, almost a decade, because a lot of developers have just been doing the same thing over and over. Nintendo included with some of their games. Now, we did have some innovation like Splatoon, but there was other issues with Splatoon that caused the review score to go down when it comes to online and just issues in general. So there really hasn't been a lot of innovation, and the Breath of the Wild is just one of the most innovative games I've ever played, hands down. And when it comes to open world RPGs, super innovative. So let the salt run it through your veins, guys. It's okay. Keep the salt coming. Keep the trash reviews as far as the user scores coming. Keep them coming because it just shows. The more salt you see, the better I feel about the Breath of the Wild. The better I'm like, yep, you know what, this game is good because of these type of trash reviews. You're just putting more highlight, more shine on the Nintendo Switch, on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So trolls, please keep it up. Your salty tears are absolutely delicious. That wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you ninjas for the next video. Peace.